Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Not a game. We talking about practice.
We thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Inside a different league, I'm coming. I'm flat out coming.
It's my quarterback. And if you guys do that, man, it's unfair.
All right, everyone. Welcome again to another exciting edition of the Sports Report Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. William D. Morgan. Got a cast of thousands with me tonight. Let me go ahead and bring in. He's making a special appearance with us on his break. We appreciate you. My man, my co-host, the man that has forgotten more baseball than I will ever know. My guy, Seven. Seven, what's up? How you doing, man?
Man, I can't believe you got to interrupt my vacation for this. Man, I'm supposed to be chilling on a beach with a coconut, but I'm broke, so I'm sitting in my office. This is rude. And I just want to drink something out of a coconut. Is it actually enjoyable to do that? I've never done it because I'm poor. And I'm just curious, if it's actually refreshing or anything, if it adds anything to the drink. I'm just curious.
Well, I've never done it either. Got to try it for sure. Let me go ahead and bring in my man. He'll be with me every Saturday night as well on the Geek Gauntlet podcast. Let me bring my man Ando in. Ando, what's up?
What up, everybody? How we doing? Special edition of the Sports Reports podcast because I'm watching the Chicago Bulls get their ass kicked. So this is a special edition because fuck the Chicago Bulls. Every time I feel like they got a really good shot at doing well, they go up and lose against the Orlando Magic.
117 to 111.
Yep.
Hey,
way to go, Chicago.
If it makes you feel any better, you're not a Suns fan getting ready to face the Lakers tonight. So
no, we're gonna lose to an inferior Magic team. That makes me feel so much better, Seven. Shut the fuck up. Also, welcome back, sir. It's good to see you again.
Ugh.
Let me go ahead and bring in this next person. He is one of the hosts from the original Players versus Team, my man, Kyle. Kyle, what's up? How you doing, bro?
What up, Kyle? Kyle, you'll be happy to know that there's a news report going around ESPN that Eagles offensive coordinator Kevin Petula had his house egged Saturday morning after their loss to Chicago. I knew you'd get a kick out of that, sir. Yep. Vandalized because of eggs. What's up,
Anderson Posse? What's up? How you doing?
What's up?
Bruno P60, how you doing, brother? Got Tony right here. Yeah, come on in, y'all. But
really quick, Kyle, does that bug your face when it's sitting right there? Because my ADHD, that would drive me up the fucking wall.
Yeah, I only put it like this because it irritates the back of my head.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay,
that makes sense. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this thing started. As you can see, we got the Buffalo Bills defeating the Pittsburgh Steelers 26-7. Should the Steelers finally move on from Mike Tomlin?
Kyle, I think you should start this one.
Yes.
I mean, don't hold it in, Kyle. Tell us how you really feel, bro.
I think if they're going, if they have to let him go, at least wait till the end of the season. But this should be it. This should definitely be it.
There's no reason to do it before then, but at some point you have to realize, and at some point you have to realize enough is enough. Like the standard's not being met. And I feel like if you're the Rooney family, you're severely letting down your fan base and the standard that was created by art. So they got to do something because this is ridiculous.
I believe the word you're looking for, Seven, was underachieving. That is what the Steelers are doing by having this mentality and this status quo of as long as we're at 50%, as long as we win half of our games, we have a winning record. That's the standard that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not, right? Pittsburgh Steelers used to be a franchise of dominance. Yes, their offense always took a backseat to their defense. I am in agreement. I think you need to wait till the end of the season. The fact that the Steelers are 9th out of 10 teams, we'll go ahead and go 11, I think, that are vying for a playoff spot in the AFC East. You got to get that shit figured out. Like, I think we all agree that Aaron is done after this season. If he makes it another season after this, he's just an old man who's bored and his girlfriends don't want him home. He's going to go take another darkness retreat with ayahuasca and ashwagandha and Wakanda forever because he's white and lives in a black nation. Look, the Steelers got to get it figured out. They're wasting prime talent on that defense between Cameron Hayward, between T.J. Watt, between Alex Highsmith. That defense is not going to get any younger. You got to put an offense together that rivals that defense. You've allowed Baltimore to crawl back into it. Cincinnati Thursday night with Joe Burrow looked fucking amazing against that Baltimore defense.
Yes.
Yeah.
If the Steelers do not make the playoffs, you need to make a change.
7.
No, I said what I was going to say. Like I agree with waiting until the end of the season. There's no point doing it now. But here's the thing: if you're really going to move on from Mike Tomlin right now, and this is the ultimate question, and this could be where the decision to stick with him has been resting, is who really has the ability to take on the mantle of coaching the Steelers organization and bring it back to a dominant sort of relevance. Like where does that lie? Are you gonna try and get Harbaugh from Baltimore after he gets fired for how bad they've crumbled? Or I mean, what are you waiting on if you're the Rooney family for deciding on who your next head coach is?
Right.
Because that's the question.
That was the same thing that they ran into when Cowher retired after Super Bowl 40. I can understand that you don't want to replace him with an inferior coach, but at this point, based off of the resumes, who do you replace him with? Like, who do you wait to take that spot? And Pittsburgh's always been the franchise that they do their homework before they hire. So I'm sure Rooney has his eye on somebody if indeed Tomlin is getting the axe. Or they could be waiting, maybe hot defensive coordinator. Like, look, we've seen Denver's defense go really good. Maybe they go after Fangio, or who's the defensive coordinator in Cleveland? That would be a hell of a move with how well Cleveland's defense has been playing as of late. Not last week, obviously, or not Sunday against San Francisco. But I'm sure the Steelers have some play in mind with their coaching if indeed Tomlin's done.
Oh man, we got some NBA fan. How you doing, brother? How you doing? Got Mr. Shorts in the chat from India. We appreciate you being here, man. NBA fan says the Steelers roster is the issue, not coaching.
Your offense is not producing points, and I do not see Matt Rule going from Nebraska to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He had a hell of a time with Carolina. I don't think he makes the move. I think he stays in Nebraska.
I don't think he wants to go back to the NFL.
Mm-mm.
You know how great of a job it is to be a college head coach? You get paid typically more money. You get to travel around the world for half the year recruiting players.
Mm-hmm.
And because you're Matt Rule and you have NFL experience, you get to lord that over these 16 and 17-year-old kids. And then you just go back. coach for 13, 14 weeks, depending on bowl season and college football playoff season. Spend some time with your family, and you're right back to traveling the country to looking at high school players.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh no, I'd rather go back to the NFL where I'm going to be during the season. I'm at the facility for 14 hours a day, and in the off season I'm still there for 10 hours a day, trying to come up with a with a playbook, a scheme that's going to keep us relevant, try to be inventive while every other team is doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. Not to mention he's dealing with people who already have egos. Like, I mean, you get those people coming in from high school to college. Those egos can be managed. You get people who are already all-stars and all-pros in the NFL. It's a different type of ball game, and I don't think Matt Rule is that type of guy. I mean, we saw it in Carolina. He traded away Christian McCaffrey before he got fired because it was an ego that he couldn't keep in check. So
it's going to be interesting to see what they do, because we already had issues with the roster too, because we all know DK Metcalf ain't that dude.
What?
No, he is when the right person throwing him the ball. He looked good with Russell Wilson. He looked good with Geno Smith for a little bit.
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers.
He looked okay with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson too when he was in. Yeah, so
I just had a thought that strangely enough would work. I want you guys to hear me out on this.
Go ahead.
Kansas City's defense is struggling this year.
Yeah.
Spags is an elite defensive coordinator. Don't get me wrong. But let's say because of all the struggles and the fact he had a hard time last year, the defense looked good, but it wasn't great. Kansas City's thinking about shaking things up. Spags gets a call to be the head coach of the Steelers because they like to be a lot more defensive focused, but he has the head coaching experience to be able to deal with the offensive side of stuff and make sure he has a good OC. And then all of a sudden you've got one of the few coaches in the game today, I think, that could actually bring the Steelers back to that defensive relevance that they had before.
Yeah. It could work. That could work.
I don't know. I look at the Steelers as 20-year coaching jobs because they typically don't hire and have bad hires for coaches. Spags is what, in his 60s? That means if you want him there for even 10 years, that puts him in 70s before he goes. I mean, it's an idea, and I mean, it would give Pittsburgh a decent go-to coach until they can find a long-term option. Or maybe Spags molds a defensive coordinator into the future head coach for Pittsburgh. That's always a possibility, too.
He could be a great stopgap. I'm not saying he's going to be a 20-year coach, but there is, if you're waiting for somebody that's going to need to be developed, or you would rather them to get developed in-house, you bring Spags in, especially with his experience working with Andy Reid. I don't think you have. I think there are plenty of worse choices. Like on the other side of Kansas City's coaching staff, Matt Nagy's probably going to be up for head coaching positions this season because that's just the way that this cycle works. And he's a terrible head coach. But if you know you're getting a terrible head coach, you're more focused on building around your team and waiting for that next person that you actually want to be ready. Matt Nagy for 3 or 4 years, let him burn out his last chance of being a head coach, and then hopefully by then your ideal candidate is ready.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to another game. Bring up another topic. I want to talk about the Green Bay Packers defeating the Detroit Lions 31-24. Should we be encouraged by the Packers or concerned by the Lions, fellas?
It's a divisional game. It was a toss-up. I said a couple weeks ago, I don't trust the Lions at all. Told you, I don't trust them. I don't trust Green Bay either.
Thank you, brother.
I don't trust either one. But the fact that the Packers won, I mean, that's par for the course. They usually win. They usually split during the season anyway, so you could have expected it. It was what it was. They just made more plays than Detroit did. At the end of the day, that's really all it was.
Yeah. I think Detroit was still kind of shooken up from that loss to Philadelphia a couple weeks back.
That's fair.
You can kind of see Detroit is in kind of a weird spot because they're not as aggressive as they've been. I mean, hell, The Giants took them to overtime. The freaking Giants took them to overtime.
Yep.
Then beyond that, you had the Eagles, and then you had a run where you played a really good game against Commanders. You played like shit against the Vikings. You had a really solid game against the Buccaneers, and then you had a downer against Kansas City. So over the last month and a half, 2 months, this isn't the same Lions team that we saw open up the season. So I think there's some cause for concern. I think Campbell needs to get out of his own head and call the game he knows how to call it. I think they need to be less aggressive, go for points, and in situations, I think, where the defense is holding teams better, when it's a shootout, go for the points. Like that game against Philadelphia, you take 2 or 3 field goals, and that last drive is not a Hail Mary. You just go 30, 40 yards and kick the game-winning field goal. Now, granted, it's in Philadelphia, and they have a really bad stadium for kicking. But I would much rather lose the game on a field goal than lose the game trying to catch up on points that I didn't take earlier in the game. So,
how you doing, Steve? Appreciate you being here, brother.
I will say this. Cowboys could be a tough out next Thursday. Rams are going to be a very tough team, especially with that game being in LA. And then you got maybe 2 winnable games in Pittsburgh and Minnesota before you finish off the season in Chicago for what could be the division if Detroit plays their cards right. So yeah, Detroit needs to figure it out. I'm more concerned with it being an issue with Detroit than it is with Green Bay. Green Bay always plays tough. Love is on a different level right now this season, and I think we will continue to see that grow with Green Bay.
7.
You know, I will say for me, I think I'm proud of Green Bay. There is a sense of consistency that they're starting to develop. I still think that this year is not going to be looked at as a banner year for Jordan Love, but I think that he's looking a lot better now than he was earlier this season. He's definitely getting a lot better with his accuracy and his movement behind the line of scrimmage. I will say for my concerns with the Lions, it would definitely be. I think that people are starting to truly see and understand how everybody always wants to be super aggressive. This isn't Madden. You have to be aggressive in pieces.
Yep.
You have to be aggressive when it matters, and always going for it on 4th down instead of taking the field goal. You're robbing yourself of another opportunity. You're wearing out your offense. You're burning their confidence up because, yeah, guys want to go for it when they can, but you're not going to see an offensive quarterback. You're not going to see an offensive line, offensive unit lose confidence because you've been grinding your way down the field. You get to the 30 and you stall out. Okay,
right.
Let's get these points. Let's go back and recoup and adjust and then try this again. That's going to look a lot better than walking away without any points and giving the other team better field position than if you were kicking it off. So, I think that Dan Campbell definitely needs to rein in the way that he's doing that, because it's not just about what the players want or what the fans want, because ultimately what they want is to win a fucking game.
Yes.
And you're not doing that right now. So you got to figure that out.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to America's team, everybody's favorite team.
Fuck you.
The Dallas Cowboys, baby.
I'll be right back, yo.
Cowboys gonna make the playoffs. Cowboys gonna make the playoffs.
Kyle, of course, leaves when we talk about Dallas.
Cowboys gonna make the playoffs.
So I'm gonna start off by saying this. I have the NFC playoff lineup right now. The 7th seed, San Francisco 49ers, has 9 wins. The 5th seeded Seahawks have 9 wins. The 6th seeded Green Bay Packers are ahead of the 49ers by virtue of the tie that they had with Dallas earlier this year. So Dallas has to somehow gain 3 games with 5 to play. Their schedule consists of the Lions, which I'm going to say is a toss-up, Vikings, winnable, Chargers, depending on which Justin Herbert and which Chargers defense shows up.
And he just had his surgery today on his hand, so is he going to be healthy?
Yeah.
And then you have Commanders and Giants. So you take the 3 games against the Vikings, Commanders, and Giants. I'll give you those 3 games. That puts you at 9 wins. Are the 49ers going to lose more than 3 games? Are the Packers going to lose more than 3 games? Are the Seahawks going to lose more than 3 games? Are the Detroit Lions going to lose more than 3 games? Because they got to find a way to get ahead of Detroit. Dallas screwed themselves by putting themselves in a hole earlier this year. I don't see Dallas making it. Could they? Their offense is never short of fireworks. They have the best 1-2 punch it receiver in the league with Pickens and Lamb. They have a very solid tight end. I wish they had better running back. They play running back by committee, which is really weird for Dallas because they usually have a marquee name.
Yes.
But no, I don't think with as top heavy as the NFC is, I don't see Dallas making it. Because your other teams that you have, Tampa Bay or Carolina is going to take the NFC South, so they're not going to take the 4 seed. I don't see Philadelphia completely bombing out to give Dallas the division.
No, they won't.
And then the Rams and the Bears are playing better football. I know we'll talk about the Rams later losing to the Panthers. But with this top heavy as the NFC is, I don't see Dallas sneaking in.
As far as Green Bay is concerned, when you think about where they're at, their next 5 games, they have Chicago twice, Denver, Baltimore, and Minnesota. So you could call the Denver and Baltimore games toss-ups, and even if they just win the 2 games against Chicago, which that may be tough, but we'll say they win the 2 against Chicago and the 1 against Minnesota, that's still 3 of those 5, and that's still it's Dallas is. I truly think about it like this: Dallas is getting garbage time wins.
Yeah.
At this point in the season, because, and this is more, I think it's partially more to the testament of the talent in the NFC as a whole. Like it's because there is talent on Dallas's team. They've actually done, they looked a lot better against Kansas City than I expected.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the truth of the matter is, I think the bridge is just too. The gap is just too far to be able to build that bridge.
Yeah, like I said, they put themselves in a hole early, losing to teams like Denver, losing to teams like no, they beat the Giants in overtime. Who else did they lose to? I know they lost to the Panthers, right? They lost to the Panthers. Yep. They lost to the Bears. They lost to the Eagles. You lost to the freaking Cardinals.
Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Yeah.
Appreciate you being here. My man, Big Tone is here. What's up, man? Good to see you, bro.
What up, Anthony? Yeah. No, the Cowboys, like I said, you lost a lot of winnable games. Now, looking back, obviously, the Bears loss is kind of a foreteller because the Bears are now 9-3. Yep. Panthers are 7-6. Broncos, they're on a hell of a streak.
They got one hell of a game. I'm glad you brought up the Bears. At some point, I don't know.
No, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm eating crow on that Bears because I didn't think the Bears were going to be a playoff team. The Bears.
I am too.
I may have to take back what I said about Caleb Williams because Caleb Williams is playing ball when he needs to play.
Same. And now here's the thing, though, and this is why I'll come back to Kyle. The Bucks right now, you got Godwin back. You got Bucky Irvin back. They got to be considered a threat.
The Bucks are a threat.
And if they can they got to be a threat.
Dude, so the Buccaneers' next 5 games are Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins, Panthers.
They can win all them.
I think, yeah. Hypothetically, I mean, even if you split the series against the Panthers, that puts you at 4-1. Yeah. I don't see them losing to the Saints. I don't see them losing to the Falcons. They beat both of those teams pretty good this year.
Yeah.
No, if the Buccaneers go 4-1, they take the division.
Yeah.
Right, because the Panthers, who do the Panthers got? If you compare them head to head, Panthers they got the Saints. Oh, the Panthers have a bye. So they have the Saints, the Buccaneers twice, and the Seahawks. I don't see them beating Seattle. However, the game is in Carolina, and I think a lot of people would say they didn't expect Carolina to beat the Rams. So if we push on the 2 Buccaneers games, go 1-1, beat the Saints, lose to the Seahawks, they go 3-1. They're 10-7. Buccaneers still finish at 11-6.
How you doing, Sajin?
So,
What's up? What's up,
What up,
Key?
Ted?
What's going on, Key?
yeah. So if the Panthers can sweep the Buccaneers, they got a shot. But they have to sweep the Buccaneers, and they have to hope that they can beat the Seahawks the way that they beat the Rams. If they don't,
I can't
beat
see
the
them.
Seahawks,
I can't see them sweeping the Bucks.
No.
I can't see them doing that.
However, crazier shit has happened.
Yes.
Crazier shit has happened.
Yes.
That's why
We're
you
gonna talk
tag
about that
this.
right now.
Every team has a chance.
Yes. And again, where every team have a chance, and we see the Rams go down to the Panthers. Is this Matt Stafford playing down to his competition, or are we sleeping on Carolina?
I think we're sleeping on Carolina's defense. Look, you forced 2 turnovers on Stafford. Hold on. Hear me out, 7. You forced 2 turnovers on Stafford. Well, technically 3 because he had a fumble on that last drive. So there's 3 turnovers that the Rams had. The Rams hadn't turned the ball over in at least 4 games because Stafford hasn't thrown an interception since week 6. They're playing in shitty Carolina weather, right? And Carolina all year has been a sneakily good team. Sneakily good team. They beat the Packers at Lambeau.
They did.
Not a whole lot of teams can say that they do that. They came back to beat Atlanta, a team that I think a lot of people expected Carolina to kind of thrash. Or at the time, Atlanta was one of those, hey, this is a get-right game for Atlanta. And Carolina punched them in the mouth. So I'm going to, again, this is where I'm going to eat some crow because I didn't expect Carolina to be in that 2 seed. I expected them to be a bottom filler in that NFC South. They play their cards right. They can play spoiler for Tampa. Again, I don't think they sweep Tampa. The wrong Tampa Bay or the wrong Baker Mayfield shows up in Tampa. We're talking about Carolina as the 4th seed, not Tampa.
Cal?
What did I tell you about Matthew Stafford and them in weather? What did I say? I told you if they have to come here and play Philly in the elements, they're going to lose. They played in the rain yesterday and couldn't get it done. I was saying this to my little brother the other day. I noticed it's almost with every team. It's not just the Rams. Every team has a trend where they play down to their competition. It's like nobody is playing with killer instinct in the NFL right now.
Nope.
No.
Like nobody is playing to bust your ass like that. Like really. Like we're better.
Kyle?
We're better than you. We're going to show you we're better than you. Remember when Bill Belichick had the Patriots running the score up on everybody?
Yep.
That shit. Yep. That's what everybody needs to be doing. Like seriously. The Rams, I'm not going to say they suck, but they pissed me off. Because I'm like, wait, you're really struggling against Carolina? Like, are you serious? But again, Carolina has been putting belt to ass to certain teams.
Yep.
Like, look at case in point. Look at the Eagles. The Eagles got outcoached on Friday.
By Ben fucking Johnson.
They got outcoached.
Ben fucking Johnson.
And then they lost.
Coach fucking BJ.
The Eagles lost it.
Pause.
Coach BJ.
They lost
outplayed the Eagles.
They lost in a demoralizing fashion because they got ran all over. Like they literally 200. But yeah, back to the Rams. It's not just them playing to the level of their competition. Other teams do it too. It's just the fact I do not trust Matthew Stafford in the weather. As cold as Detroit gets, they played in a dome. When they play Minnesota, they play in a dome. When they play Green Bay in the snow, they struggle, even though he's rarely done that. But when he was in Detroit and they played in the snow, he struggled. Mm. He's just like Drew Brees. It's the same thing. Remember, Drew Brees couldn't play outside.
Facts.
The Rams got to get it together. I need them to have the number 1 seed because I need the Eagles to go there to lose. That's what I need.
Hold on, Kyle.
I got to say this. Cal lives in Philly.
That's right, I do. I certainly fucking do. I've seen, let me tell you something. For any Eagles fans out there, if you're a fan, you're a fan. But I've witnessed the fucking mediocrity for my whole life. I'm not in my 30s, I'm in my 40s. I saw them being ass.
Especially to Santa of all fucking people. You don't throw snowballs and batteries at fucking Santa.
I watched the fan base diss Donovan McNabb when he was getting in the NFC East game. They didn't appreciate that. I've been here for all that shit. Yep. So fuck them pigeons.
So let me
Oh,
ask you
man.
this. Let me ask you this, Kyle. If Philadelphia has to go to Chicago, let's say Chicago holds the number 1 seed. Do you see Philly beating Chicago in Soldier Field?
If they feed AJ Brown the ball like they did, if they play the way they played Friday, they're going to lose.
Yeah.
Before we go on to the next game, I gotta ask this question. Now I'll get Seven's opinion on the Eagles. Y'all think AJ Brown comes back next season?
I don't see
He's
it.
going to.
I think he creates a new TV show for E called The Real Diva of Philadelphia, the AJ Brown story.
They're going to move. And it's fucked up that they're going to move.
The team is much better when Devontae Smith is the number 1.
The team is better when they running the damn football.
Yeah, I was about to say, AJ, I'm sorry to say it. No disrespect to Smitty. Smitty's decent. Smitty's not AJ Brown. Man.
My fantasy team has suffered because Saquon can't get the damn ball.
Saquon needs to be running that. Need to be running the damn football, and Dallas Goedert need to be more involved too. But
well, this is why Philadelphia's OC Kevin Petula's house gets egged because he's an idiot.
Yes. Yeah.
So with the Rams, I think this was just an off game for them because like they're 4-1 in their last 5 if you include the one loss to Carolina. And they, and you want to talk about putting belt to ass. They beat the Saints 34-10. When they beat the 49ers, it was 42-26. The game against Tampa Bay was 34-7.
Yeah, but
they are
scored
putting
31 of
belt
those.
to ass.
They scored 31 of those points in the first half.
Right. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Okay.
They did it.
Because
you got to come back.
Did it.
You got to come back.
Yeah.
Not with Teddy Bridgewater. You're not coming back.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Facts.
but like
Teddy Two Gloves? No. You might as well have J.J. McCarthy playing.
They have done that, but like in the season, he leads right now. Matt Stafford leads the league in touchdown passes. He has his completion percentage is over 66%. He's already thrown for over 3,000 yards, which for his age is a pretty spectacular thing. He's not just doing it. He's only thrown 4 picks this year. And the fact that the last game was what, 2 of them?
Yeah. Carolina, he threw 2 interceptions and had a fumble.
So 2 of the only 4 picks that he's thrown this year were in this one game. Bryce Young threw 4 picks before game 4.
Whoa, ain't no shade.
So like I think this was just a bad game because I think a lot of this, like for me, if you go back and watch that game, because I watched a lot of the highlights. I didn't get to watch it live, but I watched a lot of the highlights. That offensive line was not playing the way that it was supposed to. And I think that's why Matt Stafford spent a bunch of time under pressure. He was that's where the 2 sacks came from. He did not have time to do his job. And I'm not condoning bad play because I know there was a couple of throws that he made that were like, why the hell did you do that? But at the same time, Matt's old. He needs a little bit more protection. Yeah. He's not like an old guy getting blown over by a heavy gust, but like he's not far off from that.
No.
And so I think that the Rams they're still my pick for the number 1 seed, but I do have to ask the question, how long do they stay in the hunt? Like, how long do they make it into the postseason? Because I don't think with the way that they're playing that it's super sustainable.
So here's the issue that I have with the NFC West. All teams that are still playoff bound, 49ers, Seahawks, and Rams, are decided by a half game. Seahawks and Rams are tied at 9-3, with the Rams holding the tiebreaker because of their 21-19 win a couple weeks ago. And the 49ers, who have yet to take their bye, are at 9-4. No, that division is going to be up to grabs until week 18. Like, we will not know the winner of that division until week 18.
No.
Yeah, you're 100% correct about that.
Yeah. And a fun fact about the NFL this year, I kind of read this earlier. This is the first time going into December that we have 5 divisions that are decided by less than 1 game. The AFC North is tied at 6-6 between Baltimore and Pittsburgh.
Yep.
The AFC South is tied between Jacksonville and Indianapolis, with Houston at 3rd, a game behind them at 7-5. Then we have Philadelphia and Dallas, who is decided by a game and a half. Chicago and Green Bay are decided by a half a game, with Detroit another game behind that. Tampa Bay and Carolina are a half game because of Carolina's lack of a bye, which we'll see this week. And then, like I said, the NFC West has 3 teams a half game within each other. So I will say, as a fan of the NFL, not just as a fan of the Chiefs, but as a fan of the NFL, to have division races that are still going to be fought for up until the day of the playoffs.
Yep.
I like it. It's enjoyable.
It's all good.
It's great football. Yeah.
It's all good.
All right.
I
was gonna say, nobody likes it when a bunch of stuff is decided before.
Yeah,
you go into
nobody
week
likes
18
it when
and
New
you know
England
what
clinched their division by week 12. Fuck you,
Right.
guys.
I love it. I used to love it. I loved it. I used to love that shit.
Speaking of the Patriots, they winning right now against the New York Giants, 30-15 in the fourth quarter. Got about 10 minutes left to go in that one.
Is
That's
anybody
some belt to
surprised?
ass right there.
Yeah.
Is anybody surprised?
Nope.
Cam Scatterbo ain't on the field. The Giants don't
Nope.
have a chance.
You got Jackson Dart in there. You got Jackson Dart in there. They should have kept winning. They could have kept Winston.
I'm sorry. You got to say his name with reverence. That is Reverend
Winston.
Jamius Winston that you were talking about,
Winston.
Mr. Will Morgan.
Winston. Yes. They should have kept him in there.
Jamius
You know-
Winston.
I think that if Jameis Winston really wants to have like just a consistent financial influx of money, he should walk away from the NFL entirely and just open up a profile on Cameo,
Oh, agreed.
doing motivational speeches for people. Like he would just he'd be
Dude,
done.
Did you see his recent interview where he was talking about Taysom Hill and the turkey
Yeah.
that he got?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he
Yeah.
got me on this. He got me on this duck. It gets mailed to your house, and that thing is succulent, man. Just juiciest thing I ever put in my mouth. First off,
Pause.
Reverend
Pause.
Jamius Winston, you need to watch how you talk about meat in your mouth. Second off, please come to my church and say the sermon every fucking week. Praise be to Jesus. Oh man.
I agree, Sajin. It was expected. I agree. It was expected. I agree with you. I knew they were gonna win the game, but you put Jackson Dart in there. Look, to me, Giants ain't going nowhere. Giants gonna do nothing. I mean, I guess you do it for the fact you got to see what you got in Dart.
I will
So I understand
argue,
that point, but
I will
still,
argue that the Giants are going in the right direction. They have been competitive in a lot of games
They have.
where the Raiders just kind of belly up and they're dead. The Giants are competitive. The Giants are a fun losing team to watch.
I would have kept Winston in there. That's just me, though. That's just me. Particularly after you played last week.
Well, and you have a point, because that line is still not what it needs to be, and I think that's
No.
one of the reasons why. Like tonight, there was a situation in the first half where Jackson Dart took a huge hit, and there was almost a fight that broke out between the two teams over the shot. Like, if the offensive line actually protects him, that doesn't happen. And I think that the question becomes, like, if you're gonna, like, who are you going to put in to take the abuse? Your guy that's supposed to be your franchise quarterback, or a guy that's just going to be gone at the end of the season? Sajin, I agree. I saw that kick.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah. I agree.
But like that's the question. Like, do you get extended practice reps in with your franchise quarterback in the future, knowing that you're risking his safety, or do you put in a guy that's going to be gone after the season, and his presence is more about selling merch and getting clicks on TikTok than it is about winning games?
Yeah.
Like, what do
And
you?
I get it. Dart gives you hope. I understand. Dart gives you hope. I understand that point. But that hope has to exist beyond this season. That's what I've always said.
And if he's constantly picking himself up off the dirt, how is that
Right.
constant mentality of God, I'm on my face every single play going to extend it into next year?
What a big man. Who? James would have been in there tonight. Let's move on to the 49ers Cleveland Browns game. 49ers went ahead and handled
7.
49ers handled that business 26-8. I want to ask you guys, what's so funny?
7 gets to talk about Jennings first before we go into the game.
Oh, go ahead, Seven. Go ahead.
I just want to say, yours.
I'm here to announce that I am going to start a GoFundMe so that we can get a golden wheelbarrow for Jawan Jennings for the balls of steel that he had in that game to be mocking them while their players down and to continue talking shit when Myles Garrett walked up to the group. Like to not even be frazzled by the fact that this guy literally took his helmet off and beat a guy with it. And you're going to keep flapping your gums. Do you know how dumb you have to be talking shit to the point where Myles Garrett is not the bad guy? Like how do you come to that point where you're just that fucking brave? And this is a week after getting hit in the nuts for running your mouth. Now, don't get me wrong. I got hit in the mouth a couple of times for running my mouth when I was in high school. Hand to God, I didn't, and every time it happened, I deserved it. But guess what? I learned to shut the fuck up because I knew that if I didn't, I was going to lose more teeth. And I can't really spare any. Like, I'm an adult, and I eat a lot of candy, so I gotta keep everything where I can. But if we could just start a GoFundMe for a golden wheelbarrow for Jawan Jennings and those fucking balls of steel, I think we could really make his day. And hopefully get him to shut the fuck up, because that was just stupid.
Or I am firmly against him shutting the fuck up because I want to see him keep getting popped in the nuts for the stupid shit that he keeps saying. Like, somebody needs to stand up and put this guy in his place. His place is on his knees, grabbing his nutsack. And the more shit that he talks, the more people are going to eventually be like, all right, round 3, round 4, Jennings ain't going to have no kids, which will be a blessing to the world because we don't need more snot-nosed kids talking shit on the football field.
Pull it back a little bit.
Pull it back a little bit, brother.
A little bit, buddy. A little bit.
Pull it back. What? What?
Is 7 a special education? Yes. 100%.
Why are you yelling at me? How you guys doing tonight? Appreciate you coming through stream.
Muhammad, unless your name is Jawan Jennings and you play football for the 49ers, we are not yelling at you, sir.
I'm a very passionate speaker. I'm not yelling at anybody.
Here's my thing. This is like, I don't know if you guys watch Shannon Sharp and Chet Ochocinco's podcast. This is like Ochocinco going up against Debo. It don't make no sense.
Yep.
Debo is huge. He ready to beat. He lived to legally beat your ass. Myles Garrett is huge.
But you got to look at it like this: as a grown ass man, I'm not. Fuck how big you are. I'm not scared of you. I don't really care.
I ain't saying that, but at the same point,
Jawan Jennings took on the role of Debo Samuels because that's how Debo is. Debo talks shit. I think that's what it is. I think he took Debo's role and ran with it.
Yeah.
But Debo never got smacked in the mouth or popped in the balls. I'm just Debo. Yeah. I think Debo had a filter where it was like, all right, even I know not to say this, or even I know not to cross that line. Jennings just be like full send and whatever happens. I
think Jennings is more like Draymond. Like Draymond gives no fucks. Like he'll just say whatever.
You might as they might as well be back in San Francisco if they're going to do that.
Might as well be. Might as well be.
Like, I'm just saying.
Hey, but let me ask y'all this.
Like, podcast, Jawan and Draymond.
But let me ask y'all this, though, for real.
Sales.
Let me ask y'all this, though, for real. Putting up everything now, Shedeur didn't look the best in this game.
But look who he was going up against.
Yeah,
this is true.
The 49ers defense is still
this
one
is
of the
true.
better
That defense can't be stout. That defense can't be stout.
Yep.
16 to 25, 149 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 sacks, quarterback rate of 93.6. Dylan Gabriel got 1 attempt, 1 completion, 79.17 QB rating. I want to get your opinions on what you've seen from Shedeur in this small sample size. Kyle, let's start with you.
Enough to know if he would have gotten more playing time, he would be confident. But your team got to back you up as well. Jared Jeudy sold him out a little bit yesterday. He definitely sold him out a couple of times yesterday.
That offensive line ain't helping either.
But I think it's the fact of how, again, it was set up from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning, it was like, okay, you got the coach who has no faith in you, but now has to put you out there. He has to now. Like, I have to put you out there. You didn't have faith in him in the first place. I think what we're seeing, if we would have got this constantly throughout the preseason and the start of the season, and he had more to build on, we could actually give him a fair criticism. I say for 2 games, it's decent play.
Yeah.
It's
These
decent.
guys have that testosterone, but at some point you're like, you gotta say to yourself, don't cross that line. Yep.
Agreed. I'll agree with you, Kyle. I think from what we've seen, and again, chemistry is a big thing in the NFL. I don't think he has that chemistry because he's only had 1 week with the first team.
Yeah.
And we could see it
About that.
Yeah, 2 weeks because he started against the Raiders, so he's had 2 weeks. And the Raiders will make anybody look good. Look at who the Raiders have played this year. But the 49ers, even with all the injuries that they have, they still have Robert Saleh as their defensive coordinator.
Yes.
And as much shit as we gave Saleh for being a very just trash ass head coach in New York, he's a very good defensive coordinator. And one of the things that defensive coordinators love to do on a Sunday morning and a Sunday afternoon is put pressure on a rookie quarterback, right?
Yes.
How do you frazzle a rookie quarterback? You send pressure that he's never seen before. Robert Saleh is just like Steven Spagnuolo. He is going to send pressures in ways that Sanders has never seen, which again comes back to if you would have given him reps, given him time. Now, he should be watching film, but it takes time in a real world application to put that training into the fold. But the offensive line did not do him any favors yesterday. The receiving core did not do him any favors yesterday. And that's one of the, again, Shador is one of those that I'm going to kind of eat some crow on. I didn't expect him to look good in any games this year. With what he is working with, he's looked competent. I'm excited to a point to see where he goes from here.
I want the Saints to get him because Tyler Shuck is trash. Trash.
Yeah, I don't want. I want Shador off the Browns. I just don't want him on the Browns.
Straight trash. Shuck is trash. He's trash. He old. 26. He gonna be 33 years old. That's our first contract, Dad. He gonna be 33, bro. But nah. I wanted. And I've said it plenty of times. I said it on this show. I wanted the Saints to pick up Shador. I really did. I thought he had some potential, and he's having the chance to show it, and he doing it for Stefanski, who doesn't, for whatever reason, like him or don't trust him to be out there for whatever reason. Saints stuck with Tyler Shuck, so it is what it is. 7. What do you think about Shador coming out there for his first 2 games? How you think he's looking?
So I will take full responsibility for the fact that I have made countless jokes at Shador's expense. And most of them were actually funny as well. So I will take credit for that part too. However, watching him play, I think that first of all, he does look better than I expected. And so I will, straight up say that I think that he's looked a lot better than I expected. And when you add that into the situation that he's in and how much of a cluster fuck the Browns organization is, for him to come out like that, especially with other quarterback issues that they've had, I think he looks. I think he looks all right. I think you should really get somebody in there that can teach him how to prepare, so that when you have a Fangio or you have a Spags or somebody that's going to throw a lot of disguised looks at you, you can be a little bit more prepared for what you might see. And I think that he, with the right resources, could definitely be, a middle of the road quarterback. But he also has to be on a better team because he's not going to have the support that he needs on the Browns.
No.
And the longer that he sits on that team, the harder it's going to be for him to turn into something that is more serviceable once he gets away.
I want to go over to the NBA real quick before we get out of here for the night. Got about 10 minutes left on the show. I got a question for the room. And I've said this in the past. I've said it on TikTok. They're looking great right now. But to me, they're still a tease. Y'all believing in this LA Lakers squad right now? Y'all believing?
Fuck no.
Nope.
Not at all.
Nope.
They look
How you
like
doing,
a
Harrison?
star.
Appreciate you being here.
They look like a star-studded team that plays in Tinseltown.
It just seemed like a tease to me.
Look, if your team is not Oklahoma City, you're playing from behind. Oklahoma City's on another level this year. 20-1, 12 straight wins, 15.5 point differential. Closest team to that is the Houston Rockets. Shout out to John, even though you're not here and your Vikings absolutely sucked yesterday. Your Rockets are pulling some weight, man. Your Rockets are pulling some weight. Look, man, I wanted John to be here as much as the next guy, man. I like that. I like our diversity that we have with John here. John also keeps it real with me, y'all, so I don't do heart signs on stream no more. So we miss you, John. Come back soon.
Never again, bro. Never again.
But no, look, the Thunder are on a different level. Until a team can come out and give the Thunder 2, 3, 4 losses in a row, everybody's chasing Oklahoma City, and I don't even think it's close. This Oklahoma City Thunder team is on the same level as the 96 Bulls and the 2015 Golden State Warriors. I don't think there's any other comparisons besides those three at the moment.
Listen, real quick. We try to tell you about the Bulls. Everybody talking about the Bulls look good. The Bulls look good. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at them now.
Yep.
Look at them now.
Don't remind me.
They 9-11. They ain't even in playoff contention right now, cuz.
Nope. They're in the play-in though, and like I said, the Bulls are gonna get that certified banner of NBA play-in champions. That's what it's gonna be.
So for the Lakers, I am going to argue. I think they're a team that doesn't know how truly skilled they are, and some of that comes from the fact that their schedule has actually been kind of light. Like, I'm not saying completely, because like they had Golden State to open up the season, and a few others here and there. But like when you look at their schedule coming up between now and Christmas, you might have I think there's maybe 2 or 3 games that are truly going to be a difficult road. Outside of that, it's stuff that they should win. Mm-hmm. And so the truth of that is the Lakers have had a very favorable schedule. And so one of 2 things is going to happen. They're going to collapse, or they're going to gain so much momentum that they can't be stopped. And I happen to think it's the former. I think that they're gonna hit a wall at some point. Don't get me wrong. I love the Great White Hope, Austin Reeves, but I just don't think that what they're doing is sustainable.
All right. Last question. I know you guys have heard this ongoing beef between Kenyon Martin and Draymond Green. I know y'all have heard it. Who is right in this situation? Draymond right, or is Kenyon right? Who is right in this situation, Kyle?
I will save my opinion for last.
They're both right. I'm going to say why they're both right. Kenyon Martin played in a different era.
Yes.
Draymond Green plays in a different era. Draymond Green, if you take Draymond Green and put him back then, Draymond Green would be on the bench. Like, he really would be on the bench. He couldn't do anything with anybody back then because they would out physical him. And then when he does the bullshit he does, he get his ass whipped.
Yep.
Kenyon Martin, again, solid power forward. He averaged damn near 20
points a game.
Yeah, damn at one point. But again, his style of play, would it translate to now? Yeah, because he still will play in the paint. But Draymond Green has other skills. Draymond Green is a facilitator. He is, in fact, a facilitator. Kenyon Martin can't do what Draymond Green does. Now, again, I don't like, as Will would call him, Magic Carp, I believe. I'm not a
Magic Carp, boy.
I'm not a fan of his, but he is a 4-time NBA champion. But Kenyon Martin is one of my favorite players. And again, I give them both benefit of the doubt. I think they're both right in their own way when you talk about error that they played in.
You take that dude back in Kenyon. People don't realize how far back Kenyon's era goes and who was in that era. Derek Coleman would have beat that man ass.
Yep. Derek Coleman wouldn't have let that shit slide.
He would have beat that man ass.
Dennis Rodman would have put Draymond Green in his place, man.
Oh yeah.
Fucking
Kenyon Martin said it a while ago when Draymond Green even said to Shaq he think that Golden State team could have beat the Lakers. Kenyon Martin talks about every time in every interview. When you see Shaq, it's a still of Shaq dunking on the whole starting five of the Nets.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking think Draymond Green is going to be able to do something with Shaq?
Fuck
Nope.
no.
What?
Hell no.
Well, we're talking Shaq from the Lakers, right? Like prime Shaquille O'Neal,
Prime
8
Shaq.
years.
Prime Shaq.
Dude, ain't no. Like
Martin
dude,
needs to be careful when he would choke you out on live TV.
here's what I'll say about Shaq, right? In his prime, I don't take anybody over Shaq. Shaq is my number one center in his prime. I think the only person, based off of who I've seen, that can keep Shaq in his place is a prime Hakeem Olajuwon. Now I'm talking 93, 94, and 94, 95 Hakeem. But it's not strength versus strength, right? Shaq is going to overpower everybody in the paint in his prime. Olajuwon got the way over Shaq in the finals in the 94-95 finals because he finessed Shaq. Shaq overpowered Hakeem, but it was Hakeem's finesse that made him beat Shaq. And that's why I like Duncan's style of play, because Duncan was more fundamentally sound. I look at Duncan more as a power forward than I do a center. If I take anybody from this era of play, I'm going to put two names out there. I'm going to put Joker. But Joker, he may have the height, but he is not going to match up with Shaq in the paint. Shaq is going to overpower him. I think the only person, if to God he could stay healthy, would be Joel Embiid. I think Joel is the only guy.
Nah.
And that's still a stretch. Like,
if you look at it, Joker would give, again, it would be like the Olajuwon thing.
yeah.
Joker would give Shaq fits when Shaq has to play defense.
But that's because Joker can play him out in the perimeter. Shaq is I'm not covering out to the perimeter. I got the paint.
Right.
And Joker is one of those guys that will hit 3 points in mid-range, and that's where he will have his advantage over Shaq.
Shaq would beat Embiid up, and then Shaq could muscle Embiid on defense too.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you look at their just body type, Joker would be the one person who would give him fits like Olajuwon did on the offensive end.
Embiid wouldn't even play, particularly if he was on the end of the back-to-back. He wouldn't even play.
Yeah. Oh, we got Shaq. We got Shaq tomorrow.
Yeah, shut him up. It's on back-to-back.
My knee.
I ain't playing.
My knee hurt.
I'm hurt.
My back tightened up.
My vagina hurt, coach. I can't play.
There you go. Yep.
Seven, what you thinking, bro?
It's so. I think that when Kenyon Martin, because I mean I know that this originally started when Kenyon called Drake a fake
tough guy,
Fake tough guy.
And like I get it to a point, because I mean even if you compare because Draymond I think would be the closest in this era to, let's even if we just go into the 90s, Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Like there's comparisons, but he's not even as tough as Dennis Rodman was.
No.
Because off the court, you look at Draymond, it's like this is that guy that you can just go back and forth with and make jokes with and say, and just say messed up stuff to each other, make messed up jokes, and it's going to be a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Draymond, you didn't want to, Rodman, you didn't want to approach him. He was scary. Like he allowed that persona to exist off the court, primarily so people left him the hell alone. But he allowed that persona to stay with him, and Draymond just isn't that guy. No. So I can see it to a point, but I also think that how much of this is really just Kenyon Martin trying to get some attention, because he knows that there's so many people that are going to defend Draymond, and that's just going to drive up his views and drive up his.
I don't know. I think it might. You might be a little bit right, because it does bring eyes to the
Yeah.
Here's my. Go ahead, Seven.
What I was going to say, it's so I'm kind of with Kyle, and I can kind of see both sides of it, but also what are the true reasons for calling out Draymond Green? Like, what purpose does it actually serve? And that's my question.
None.
Keeps Kenyon in the media.
Not at all.
My philosophy is this: shut the fuck up. It's Draymond Green. You're the fourth most important wheel in that Golden State team, right? I would put Iguodala as more important as Draymond Green.
Y'all remember too, real
Were
quick.
you the enforcer of your team? Yes, you were. Great. Fucking Zaza Pachulia could have been as enforceful, right? I mean, maybe not the cleanest player, but he can play some fucking defense, right? You and your Magna Carp looking ass need to go sit on the bench, right? You've been choked out too many times because you're choking people out and they choking you back, right? Nah, that's not how we're gonna play.
Yep.
That being said, Kenyon Martin, he had what? 3 really good seasons with the Nuggets, 4 really good seasons with the Nets.
Yep.
7 years.
Made 2 finals appearances, got swept by the Lakers, and then got beaten 7 against the Spurs. Playing 2 really good, sound defensive and coached teams.
Yep.
It's nothing against your resume, but if you could have turned one of those into a ring, I think you have more leg to stand on. But personally speaking, I think they're both guys looking for media clickbait views, right? That's what you do for clickbait. You talk shit. We don't talk shit on the Sports Report podcast. We let our journalism and fandom do the bullshitting for us. Also, click our streams if you guys are watching this.
Yes. Exactly. Here on Wire to Wire Network every Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. But, shameless plug. All right. We are at the end of our time for this evening. Real quick, Kyle, what you got? Anything coming up? You got anything coming up this week, bro?
Just work, man. Just work. That's about it. Nothing else. Just work.
And you got anything coming up, bro?
Hopefully not an egged house like Eagles offensive coordinator Kevin Petula. Fucking getting his egged house by fans after their loss to the Bears. Please do not egg my house. Also, if you know where I live, I will take a pack of Coors Light. Don't send eggs, send beers. I need beers.
That should be one of our T-shirts. Don't send eggs, send beers.
Yes, that's what it is. And then we'll have the Eagles logo at the bottom.
That's crazy.
With the cross through
That's
it.
diabolical.
Yeah, no. See, this is clickbait, people. That's what you got to do for views.
That's diabolical, boy.
Yes. And then my shirt particularly will have a heart sign, so you know it's me. Fuck it. But back to the real news. Getting back to work, getting back into the swing of things. Had a loss in the family. Getting my mind right, getting ourselves back together. So
condolences, bro.
Thank you.
Bro. 7. What you gonna do on your break?
Besides drink something out of a coconut.
I am firmly I've decided I think we really need to actually get a true campaign going to get Celebrity Deathmatch brought back. Because I think so many of these beefs could be solved with claymation and some really funny voice actors. Like I think
Celebrity Deathmatch.
I think Ice Cube. I think Ice Cube actually is the one that owns the rights. Last I saw, Ice Cube owns the rights for Celebrity Deathmatch. So we can just get enough attention. We could get some like if we're gonna keep going with all these reboots, give me back Celebrity Deathmatch, please.
Agreed.
There you go.
Like I don't think like if we can get a How I Met Your Mother reboot with Hilary Duff in it that was just terrible, and I love Hilary Duff. Just half the reason I got carpal tunnel in high school.
Pause.
Wait, I do. Hold on. Pause. Pause. 7.
Yes,
You don't have the warm seat anymore. I'm taking your spot because I haven't shaved.
No, trust me, it's still plenty padded. But if we just get back Celebrity Deathmatch, like I think that's what the world needs. That's what the world needs to truly start healing. Because the comedy that we could get out of that show. I mean, think of the possibilities. Yeah, we got Kenyon Martin and Draymond Green. We could do a Drake and
Kendrick Lamar.
Drake and Kendrick one. Like, I mean, some of the sports rivalries.
Miley Cyrus and Nicki Minaj.
Miley Cyrus, Cardi B, and
I'll throw it in. I'll throw it in there. Me versus Nick Wright.
There you go.
Oh, Lord.
I think we do Nick Wright versus Professor Snape for who actually is Professor Snape.
Yes.
I think that would just be a solid. That would just be a solid matchup. Like, see, there's so much potential. Like, we're just spitballing, and we could be the writers' room, and bring that back. Like I just want that back. But I will tell everybody this every week on Wire to Wire Sports Network, day and night. We have a ton of great content for you. shows
Yes.
hosted by individuals that love sharing their thoughts, sharing how they see the sports world in the various sports that we like to cover. So please definitely check out Wire to Wire Sports Network. If you're watching the show, you can click on that network, share, comment. Please subscribe and follow us. We have great shows every day, and we would love to interact with you just as we have tonight.
That is correct. And you can see
before we-
some of these shows on our way out. Appreciate you guys being with us tonight. And we'll see you
Before
guys
we bounce,
next week.
Will, hold on. Will, before we bounce, Lakers are down by 5 to the Suns in the second quarter.
I just
And we're out.
Yes.